When you think of wild clashes in the animal kingdom, lions fighting hyenas or crocodiles taking down wildebeest might come to mind. But what if we pit two very different predators against each other, each ruling its own harsh environment with unmatched skill? On one side, we have the Wolverine, a small but terrifying powerhouse of sheer aggression, known as nature's berserker. On the other side, the mountain lion, also known as the cougar, puma, or panther, a sleek, stealthy killer that dominates the mountains and forests of the Americas. The question is, what would happen if a Wolverine crossed paths with a mountain lion? Could the ferocious underdog stand its ground against a predator nearly 4 times its size? Or would the big cat's strength, speed, and precision end the fight in seconds? Let's break this showdown down step by step. First impressions. The Wolverine, also called gulo gulo, might look like a small bear or a stocky badger, but don't let appearances fool you. This creature has a reputation for taking on animals much bigger than itself. Wolves, caribou, even black bears on rare occasions. Weighing between 20 and 40 pounds, it is basically muscle, claws, and teeth wrapped into a fur coat. Its jaws can crush bones, and its ferocity is legendary among those who have seen one fight. Now enter the mountain lion, puma in color. This big cat is no stranger to being underestimated either. Weighing between 100 and 200 pounds, cougars are not the largest cats in the world, but they are incredible athletes. A mountain lion can leap up to 40 feet in a single bound and climb trees with the agility of a house cat. They stalk, they ambush, and they kill with terrifying precision, usually with a single bite to the neck. If these two predators stood face to face, the size difference alone would be striking. The cougar dwarfs the Wolverine, but size does not always decide the fight. Weapons of war. The Wolverine's main weapon is its raw tenacity. It has long, semi-retractable claws that can shred flesh and a jaw structure built to crush through frozen meat. Wolverines are scavengers as much as they are hunters, which means they are willing to fight tooth and nail over a meal. Their bite force, when scaled to size, is one of the most powerful among mammals. Combine that with an almost suicidal fighting spirit, and you have an animal that even wolves avoid if they can. On the other hand, the mountain lion is the definition of a precision killer, with retractable claws designed to grip and slash, and teeth specialized for slicing through windpipes. It doesn't waste time in a fight. Cougars use ambush tactics, stalk silently, leap onto the prey, and go straight for the kill shot. Unlike Wolverines, they are not brawlers, they are assassins. One clean bite to the neck or skull is usually all it takes. So while the Wolverine brings relentless power and stamina, the cougar brings speed and surgical accuracy, strength and endurance. Strength-wise, the cougar has the clear edge. Its forelimbs are immensely powerful, designed to pin down deer, elk, and even moose calves. A cougar's paws can deliver crushing force, while its bite is strong enough to pierce through thick hide. If it manages to grab and hold the Wolverine, the fight could end quickly. But endurance is where the Wolverine shines. Wolverines roam vast territories in freezing conditions, covering up to 15 miles a day in search of food. Their bodies are built for long, drawn-out struggles. Unlike the cougar, which relies on quick ambushes, the Wolverine can keep fighting long after other animals would give up. In fact, many hunters and trappers tell stories of Wolverines refusing to die even after severe injuries. So while the cougar has more raw strength, the Wolverine has an almost terrifying resistance to pain and exhaustion. Fighting styles. Here's where things get really interesting. The Wolverine is a brawler. It charges in, latches on, and refuses to let go. There are recorded cases of Wolverines fighting off wolves and stealing kills from bears simply because they refuse to back down. Their strategy is intimidation and overwhelming aggression. If a Wolverine can get onto the cougar's back or clamp onto its throat, the big cat will have a serious problem. The cougar, on the other hand, is a hit-and-run assassin. It doesn't like face-to-face combat. Instead, it stalks from the shadows, leaps, and ends things fast. But in a forced fight, no ambush, no surprise, the cougar might find itself at a disadvantage. While it has the tools to kill quickly, it is not used to an enemy that fights back with berserk rage. The question becomes, can the cougar land that one perfect bite before the Wolverine tears into it? Real encounters in nature. This isn't just theory. Such encounters have been recorded in the wild. In regions where cougars and wolverines overlap, like the Canadian Rockies, there are rare cases of clashes. Usually it's over food. A cougar makes a kill, and a wolverine shows up to scavenge. Surprisingly, there are documented cases of wolverines chasing mountain lions off their kills. Think about that. A 30-pound Wolverine intimidating a 150-pound cat. That's how much respect cougars give to the Wolverine's ferocity. But it isn't always one-sided. Mountain lions have been known to kill Wolverines when the fight actually turns physical. Once the cougar gets its jaws locked on the smaller animal, the battle ends quickly. So while Wolverines can sometimes bluff their way into victory, they do risk becoming dinner if the cougar commits to the fight. Environment matters. Environment plays a huge role in this matchup. In snowy, cold conditions, the Wolverine has the advantage. Its wide paws act like snowshoes, giving it better mobility in deep snow where the cougar struggles. Wolverines are built for harsh winters, while cougars are more adapted to rocky, forested terrain. In open ground or forest ambush zones, the cougar dominates. Its ability to leap, climb, and ambush would give it an edge over the slower, stockier Wolverine. So the battlefield would decide a lot about who comes out on top. The face-to-face showdown. Let's imagine the scene. A cougar brings down a deer in the forest. As it begins to feed, a Wolverine shows up, snarling, growling, and puffing itself up. The cougar, cautious, growls back. The Wolverine charges, claws flashing, trying to bite its way to the cougar's neck. The cougar swipes with lightning speed, pinning the Wolverine down for a split second. But the Wolverine twists, snarls, and sinks its teeth into the cougar's leg. The cougar yowls in pain, leaps back, and reconsiders. The smaller animal, though injured, is still coming forward. For the cougar, the meal might not be worth the risk. If the cougar commits fully, lunging for the kill, it could crush the Wolverine's skull or windpipe in seconds. But if the cougar hesitates, the Wolverine's relentless attack could drive it away. So who would actually win in a Wolverine versus mountain lion fight? If it comes down to sheer physical ability, the cougar has the overwhelming advantage. It's faster, stronger, and capable of killing with a single, precise bite. In a full-on fight where the cougar commits, the Wolverine would almost certainly lose. But here's the twist. Wolverines rarely lose because of intimidation. Many cougars would choose not to risk injury against such a fearless opponent. In the wild, survival matters more than ego. A cougar with an injured leg could starve, while a Wolverine seems almost built to fight through pain. So the realistic outcome is this. In a head-on, forced fight to the death, the mountain lion wins. In a real-world encounter, the Wolverine might actually walk away with the victory because the cougar decides the fight is not worth it. The clash between a Wolverine and a mountain lion shows us something deeper about nature. Winning is not always about size or power. Sometimes it's about attitude, strategy, and survival instincts. The Wolverine is the perfect example of how sheer ferocity can balance the scales against much larger predators. And the cougar, though capable of killing, knows that sometimes the smartest move is to back off. In the end, both of these animals are masters of their environments. The cougar is the ghost of the mountains, the silent assassin of the forest. The Wolverine is the fearless warrior of the north, an animal that refuses to yield. If they ever meet, the fight would be less about who is stronger and more about who wants it more. And honestly, that's what makes this matchup so fascinating.